Inaccuracies among War Thunder's top tier jets. Part 4. Number 1. The JA-37C Viggen and MiG-23 MLD should be able to lock two targets at once with their radars. They could only guide one semi-active missile at a time, obviously, needing to switch to a single target track mode in order to do so, but having the ability to lock two targets would be very useful. In fact, the Viggen even had a TWS or track while scan mode which still swept the skies, detecting other targets whilst tracking two simultaneously. Number 2. Various British jets are using GP bombs rather than the post-war MC models they should be using. These had a higher explosive mass and can be seen on some aircraft like the Swift F1, Scimitar, Attacker, Hunter F6 and even the Shackleton and Hornet, but not the Harriers, Phantoms, Canberras or Jaguars for some reason. The Buccaneer has the 500-pound MC bombs, but the 1,000-pound bombs are still the old GP models. And the Jaguar GR1A from 1983 is literally using bombs that were phased out during World War II. What the fuck? Number 3. The AJ-37, the attack variant of the Viggen, should be able to carry AGM-65 Mavericks, or Swedish designation RB-75, on its outer wing pylons. Unfortunately, it couldn't mount 4 Mavericks at a time, but this would let it carry a loadout of 2 Mavericks and 2 RB-24J air-to-air missiles, which would be fantastic. Number 4. The F-8E Crusader is missing the APR-30 radar warning receiver. Number 5. The F-4E Phantom could carry up to 6 Maverick missiles rather than 4. Before all you tankers pop a vein, I'm not saying that this should be possible in-game, but it is an inaccuracy. Number 6. The Mitsubishi F-1 and F-4EJ Kai are missing the ability to carry the Type 80 anti-ship missile. Before you comment about the uselessness of ASMs, the Type 80 would be able to be used against ground vehicles in the same way that the KH-29T or guided bombs are, for example, targeting a point on the ground. There's also the GCS-1 guided bomb, but this is an infrared guidance system meant for locking ships, and it's debated that it would have the ability to lock a tank-sized target. My personal bets are yes, because these things were designed to attack landing craft, which don't exactly output much more heat than a tank, but I can see why Gaijin won't treat this assumption as good enough. The Type 80 should still be added though. The F1 is also missing the ability to carry up to 12 500-pound bombs, almost double what it has now. Number 7. The Su-17 M2 is missing S-25 rockets. I get that Gaijin probably added them to just the Su-22 to make it more special, but given how useless they are on that aircraft, I don't see the point. Number 8. The F-105D Thunderchief had a ground radar, as well as a CCRP. I know it says it has a CCRP in-game, but you can't use it given that you can't mark a target point in this aircraft right now. Number 9. When mounting the flare targeting pod, the A-7E displayed the infrared view from it on its heads-up display. Basically a thermal HUD. Number 10. The AJ-37 should not have the Pulse Doppler Search and Track radar from the JA-37C, just an air-to-surface radar. This seems to be a recurring theme for these videos. I'm pretty sure I'm just reporting bugs at this point. Number 11. The MiG-23 MLD's radar was only capable of detecting and tracking fighter-sized targets at a maximum range of 15 kilometers while in Pulse Doppler mode. While on the other hand, its ability to see targets against ground clutter was way better than it is in-game. Number 12. The F-4J is missing the VTAS system, which was a helmet-mounted sight for air-to-air missiles and radar, allowing the pilot to point the seeker of an AIM-9G at any target he can see without having a radar lock to slave it to, or get a radar lock in a target in ACM mode even if the target isn't in front of the aircraft. And number 13. Many radar warning receivers in-game are modelled to be far more basic than they should be. The SPO-15 system, for example, on the MiG-23 MLD, MiG-27s and Su-22, as well as the Mi-24s and 28s, should actually be able to show the target type that's locking it, be that an aircraft, SAM or AAA installation, as well as the signal strength, which roughly equates to the range. It can also show threat level, whether a target is in range to launch a weapon or not, and even had a missile launch warning for radar homing missiles like Sparrows. The ALR-46 system on the F4E was very similar, showing everything I listed above except range, and could even show the specific target that was locking it, be that a MiG-21, MiG-23, Shilka, Mirage, etc. The Viggens, A7s, F5E, and several other aircraft had some form of similar functionality from their RWR systems, all of which are missing in-game. And apparently Gaijin have no plans to add it. No, dozer blades were much more important. Gonna throw out a yikes for that one. Alright lads, how's that? There were actually enough of these things for me to make a part 4 in the end, half of which I only picked up on because of your comment under the last episode, so thank you for that. But I want to make a couple of things clear. So for one, yes I know, if I wanted full realism I could just go play DCS, I get it, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't at least talk about some of the stuff for War Thunder, and hey, it's fun. Terrain radars, the electro-optical camera we brought up in the last episode, these kinds of things probably don't need to be added. But on the other hand, there are a bunch of points we've brought up that are basically just bugs, like the Jaguar using bomb types that were replaced 40 years before it entered service, the F8E missing its RWR when the F8C gets one, or the flare pod on the MiG-21s blocking their air brake when it shouldn't. Other points like missing weapons, Snake Eye bombs, Type 80 missiles, etc., TWS radars or RWR functionality are just kinda cool to talk about and would be cool to see in game, regardless of how realistic you think War Thunder should try to be, and in fact a bunch of points we've mentioned previously have actually made it into the game, so maybe some of these could too. I assume most people are saying that I should just go play DCS instead, either just because I'm obviously interested in this historical side of things, or because maybe they think that, the lack of it upsets me in War Thunder, like I'm complaining because these things aren't in-game. I'm really not, they're just cool talking topics and you lads seem to enjoy these videos. But on the off chance that people are actually saying it as if War Thunder shouldn't fix these things just because, I don't know, some people seem to have a hate boner for me at this point, give me one good reason why just because War Thunder's level of realism is lower, that half the British jets should be using the wrong bombs, the F8E shouldn't get its RWR, or that the AJ-37 and Nesher should get radars they never had. On a more agreeable note, if you didn't see the last video, we are holding a massive giveaway competition over on our Discord server, which you should come join. We've got about 20 items to give away, from GE packs, premium packs, PC components, merchandise, Steam gift vouchers, and more. Just a wee bit of a thank you to you guys for supporting the channel and helping propping me up. So come hop on the Coalition Forces server at the link below, there's all the information in the giveaways channel there in a pinned comment, and stay tuned for when we announce the winners each week. For this week, congrats to Firestarter and Bravo099, and aside from that, I hope you've all enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the skies. The BMP can be considered the very first of its kind of infantry fighting vehicles, and is still in widespread service today. The easily recognisable machine has spawned a wide variety of variations, and served with over 65 nations since its debut in the mid-1960s. Like the MiG-21 of the skies, the BMP has proven an adaptable and timeless platform, remaining useful to this day in some very modern militaries.